8 things absolutely not to say to AI. No matter how good the relationship is, even with your parents. If not, you will suffer the consequences. Especially the 7th. It can get you into a broken family. Couples separated. The content below is very realistic. It can completely change your mind. I know your life is busy, but what I'm saying is not easy to absorb. It's especially hard to master if you only hear it once. My advice is to watch until the end. Listen to it over and over again in your free time or doing housework. Please share and save playlists to be more convenient for you. I'm sure within a few short months, your mind will grow tremendously to a new level. Dear Ancient Masters, welcome to you and friends. Today we will find out 8 things not to share with close friends. Because friends also have this person Kia. It is better to keep it in your heart than to say it. Otherwise, you'll get into trouble and attract people who don't deserve it. Number 1. Money in your pocket. Many years ago in an old town, there's a little blacksmith shop run by an old blacksmith. The old man sat inside the goods store outside. Anytime you walk through the store, you'll see him lying on a chair inside the house. On the small wooden table next to it was an old remote teapot. It's not clear what age. His daily income is not much, just enough to drink tea and eat rice. Because of old age, you don't need anything else, so he's very satisfied. One day, an antiques dealer walked by the store and happened to see the teapot far away beside him. Black-purple antique teapot as ink. After careful observation, this person identified it's the work of a famous artist. The bar, extremely rare, and want to buy it for 100,000 yuan. At first the old man was surprised, but then he refused. Because the pot was an heirloom left by my grandfather. 3 generations of his family. They all drink water from this pot when they're forging. Although we don't sell teapots, for the first time in his life, he lost sleep that he's been using for 65 years and used to think normal objects. Now someone wants to pay 100,000 yuan. He used to close his eyes and drink tea, but now just hear the noise. You will sit up, check if the pot is still there. It makes you very uncomfortable. What can't be more? When people in the village, I know you own the pot. Expensive. They asked him if he had any other treasures. Some people even started borrowing money. You and your children also want to divide the property from this pot. The old man's life was completely turned upside down. When the antique dealer comes back for the second time, bring 200,000 RMB this time. The old man couldn't take it anymore. He summoned the neighbors, put the hammer up and in front of everyone, smashing the remote kettle to pieces. Not long after, his life returned to the same peace as before, and they say he lived to be 100 years old. When I heard this story, perhaps the most striking was the moment the old man held up the hammer and smashed the kettle, the falling debris. It's not just a piece of the pot, but also the temptation of greed and endless delusion. But the truth is that the kettle you smashed was fake, and the real worm, he's still quietly selling to antiques dealers. Just earned 200,000 RMB. It just prevented participation, lamb of outsiders and children. It was thanks to that pension that he lived so long. I know how many close relationships change for money. Friends become enemies for money. When others know you have money, they may want to borrow from you. If you do, they will doubt your feelings. A multiple money transaction. It can fade friendships and friendships. By the heart of man, they often do not stand the test of money. The second thing, your love story. There was a man, always carrying the silhouette of a woman, can't forget and meet AI. He also asked me how to forget her. Finally, he heard that there was a temple on the mountain, and in the temple, there's a master who saves the world. The excited man immediately went up the mountain. When he met the master, he immediately told him everything, very enthusiastic and detailed. The master did not interrupt. Just sit quietly with your eyes closed until the man stopped talking. When you stop, the master opened his eyes and asked the little fellow to bring his tea. I saw the man's hope. He took out a small bottle and said, "This will help you forget your troubles. Drinking will forget everything. Would you drink?" The man looked at the water, but hesitated. "If you drink, you will forget all your troubles." The master shook his head and replied, "Sad happy clutch is a temporary feeling. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing bad about it." The master said, "So there are things that need to be forgotten." The man who heard it hurriedly shook his head. "You can't wave, master. I don't want to forget. I just don't want to think about her anymore. Forgetting one is enough." The master smiled and said no more. Instead, turned to the neighbor. "Have you written today?" Little Dong obediently answered, "Master, I dare not miss a day." The master nodded and asked again, "So how do you remember this?" Little Dong doesn't understand. Why did master ask me that? But still honestly replied, "I read a lot and naturally remember." The master asked again, "If I want you to forget this, what will you do?" He was confused for a long time and said, "I don't know. But if you remember by thinking a lot, if you read a lot, stop thinking, stop reading, and you will forget." He turned to the man and said, "When you meet someone, you ask them, 'Talk to me and tell me everything.' You can say you want to forget." Even this little fellow understands that not thinking, if you can't remember, you can forget, so what are you clinging to? I don't think you really want to forget her. It's just feeling the present, not as fun as before. Love is not a one-sided thing. It's the beauty of empathy. For those without grace, despite being persistent, you can't change the predetermined ending. Just let go and accept. Can bring the most beautiful scenery to life. After all, if you're not the one who's destined, no matter how good you are or how much effort you put in, he will not be with you for the rest of your life. But who fate has arranged for you, even if you go around, we will finally meet again and be together. Fate will arrange itself. To love someone without grace, learn to let go. Don't blame, don't blame. Believe that when you miss someone who doesn't have grace, you will meet someone who is truly for you. Third thing, your weaknesses and secrets of your private life. One day the crow said to the hedgehog, "Your armor is awesome. I'm jealous of you." The hedgehog could not resist the compliment and said to the fruit, "I tell you a secret. Really, my armor is not without its flaws. When we curl up, there's a small opening in our stomach. If AI blows in there, we'll be tickled and open." It was very surprising, but when he broke up, he told me, "You must not reveal this secret to anyone. If the fox knew, we would die." The result is certain. Don't worry, we never do the selling out of our friends. Not long after the crow fell to the fox, he tried to eat a crow to save his life. The crow reveals the secret of the fox. So forgive the crow and catch the hedgehog. In life, absolutely not to tell your secret to any AI. The weaknesses and secrets can be the talisman of others when your life is in danger. This happens often at work. Some people want a deeper friendship. They will often share secrets or his weaknesses in exchange for his friend's trust. It's the same way a hedgehog reveals its soft belly. When people are still friends, everything can be fine. But when interests clash, friends can become rivals, and the weaknesses that you've revealed, it will become a weapon against you. In a battle, there was a soldier who said to the general, "The general's 200 meters ahead. There's a gunner, but the shooter didn't fire properly. Even if you shoot many times, you still haven't hit AI." The general asked why you didn't take him down. The soldier replied, "General, you're crazy. We don't want them replaced by a gunner. Better than that, a better sniper than Sao." This story teaches us that we should know how to detect the opponent's weaknesses, but don't remind them. You'll never know. Can your friends become your opponents or not? If you reveal all your weaknesses, you will be discovered, and he's as vulnerable to attack as the sniper. Never lower yourself in front of others. Otherwise, you'll create a glass-shattering effect. When a window breaks without being repaired in time, the other doors will be destroyed one by one. It's like a pile of trash. If not cleaned up, it's going to make people put more trash in there. Many people lower themselves. Lower yourself to lower the expectations of others and get more recognition from the enemy. But I miss a fact. When you start to lower yourself, you become a vulnerable person in the group. Someone who lets others use it, and even a place to vent. It's about lowering yourself. It doesn't help you improve or improve your relationship. It just makes you lose respect and admiring gaze of others. So respect yourself. That's the only way to fix the broken glass. The 4th mistakes of the past. Once upon a time, there was a student, but being hurt by someone made him fail the exam. The girl he loved as a child also left him, from which SA students lost their spirit. I can only drink through the day. One day he met a monk and prayed for a way out. The high priest didn't say much, just asked me to follow you for 3 days. For 3 days the high priest gave me water to drink. Do not feed rice. Every day you have to feed the horse and cut wood. At night sleeping in the stable. 3 days later, he started crying on the road. Regret for hurting yourself like that. Cow said, "You weren't like that before." Punish yourself for the mistakes of others, suffering yourself, suffering experiences in the past. Don't repeat it too much. Adam Smith said in his theory of moral sentiment, "In this world, no one can really feel, communicate with the pain of others. Even if you're radial, it hurts to not want to live anymore. It's just your own thing." For to a certain age, you'll realize that it's true that everything is like that. My whole life is like a play. It's normal to be alone and without AI help. When you laugh, the whole world laughs with you. But when you cry, you're alone. You can't ask people to understand my own difficulty. You can't expect AI to understand your pain. It's cruel, but it's true. It's like a heartbreaking story about a little monkey. While feeding on the monkey that was scratched by the tree's branches, the bleeding doesn't stop, but instead of taking care of the wound, it keeps showing off its wounds. Show it to everyone, to find comfort. When someone sees it, they show compassion. Some people just find it funny. If you meet someone, they open the wound, showing off over and over again that the wound can't heal. He almost lost his life to infection. The writer was right. Don't think the whole world cares about you. Do you think that AI is following you? AI actually has its own concerns. No one cares about your business. Don't keep telling others about your pain. 20% don't care. Maybe 80% are laughing at you. The things that have passed, every repeat only adds to the sadness. Human suffering is not the same. The most difficult days can only be overcome on their own. Suffering experiences in the past, heal yourself. Expecting others is not the same as relying on yourself for. Waiting for someone to come to the rescue is not about finding your own way out. Don't easily tell your past to anyone, and don't let it be easy to show off just because the mind is in agreement. My card. All the A's who bully you are the ones who understand about you. The more you trust, it can hurt you more deeply, because they can easily hit your weaknesses with just one movement. The 5th thing is the blame for fate. There's a couple. The husband is an alcoholic. The wife is a gambling addict. They have 2 sons, but their fates are completely different. The older son has a successful career, while the youngest son breaks the law and goes to jail. Someone asked the older brother, "Why are you so successful?" He replied, "Because I have parents like this. If I don't make an effort, will AI take care of this family?" Then they asked my brother why he went back to prison. You answer, "Because I have parents like that. They have a bad influence on me." 2 brothers grew up in the same family. Someone who thinks of trying to improve their life. Others blame the parents for ruining myself. We live day by day without progress. In fact, in life, there are many like you and this brother. Living together in an age, someone is facing forward. Some people just blame others. The habit of blaming is a disaster. It makes me fall step by step into despair, while people who never complain. You can overcome the danger. President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, after 7 jobs and 7 defeats in the 1832 election, have started a business. In less than a year, the company went bankrupt. 17 years later, you have to run to pay off your debt, but didn't complain. Lincoln went on to participate in the 1846 parliamentary election and finally succeeded. Try to imagine if after bankruptcy, Lincoln blames fate and collapse, then your life will be dark. As someone once said, blame for being in the dark, not by holding up the light. Complaining is like pouring water on your shoes. It makes it even more difficult to get around. Complaining is one thing, trying is another. When talking later, avoid complaining. The 6th unlucky words. There was a netizen who said, first her career pregnant twin, but always complaining that it's annoying. I don't know how to take care of my 2 kids. When she met the AI, she joked, give me one. The birth of a lost child. Another friend joked, I've never been in an ambulance. I can't believe you had gas poisoning that night and had to take an ambulance to the hospital. A friend of mine from high school, my mother was electrocuted while growing rice. We've donated our help. But then another joked, why doesn't anyone donate to me? A week later, his mother was also electrocuted while growing rice, and people have to donate to help him. Another netizen said that, your colleagues always say, he died and eventually got cancer. When I was working in a garment factory, a colleague was stabbed through the arm by a sewing machine. He joked that he wished Kia had been stabbed for symmetry. Less than a few days later, he was actually stabbed. The phenomenon of likability in China. I told the fans that, I'm not going back to Guizhou. I'll sleep under the sea. As a result, he died of drowning in a car accident. So you have to avoid unlucky words. Don't say bad words. Because of the fate of man, it depends on the words. What do you usually say? He will create his own destiny. You look at a tree. If the leaves are yellow, there may be a problem with the root. It's the same with humans. Your words are tied to fate. When angry, don't say curses. Because when you curse people, you're actually sowing evil for yourself. The bad consequences will come later, but I don't know when it's going to happen. No matter what, when in life has sown bad causes, the natural evil will come. Cause and effect is never wrong. Cursing others, it doesn't do them any good. It's not good for you either. The curse that carries with it hatred. When you say those words, your facial expressions get distorted. Over time your face will deform. Before the age of 20, the appearance is inherited from parents. After the age of 20, the appearance is self-cultivation. Honest soul, gentle words will make your appearance become mild and approachable. This is how we cultivate ourselves. They also bring luck to themselves. There is a saying that good things are not evil. The ancients believed that writing and words had power. You need to keep respect, especially when talking. The mouth is the door of blessing and evil. Blessing from the mouth to evil from the mouth of raw. Indiscriminate speech is the root of the scourge. People need to be careful in their words. I hope that some of you often have unlucky thoughts, bad thoughts, and the words that were spoken in the past. From now on, it will be reduced and completely avoided. The 7th is the joy of success. There used to be a boss who liked to speak up, hurt many people. He recently bought a large house in the city. But don't brag online. You once told me that he was suddenly more mature after one night, because 3 years ago at a village party, when drunk, he said he made 500 million in a year. It's just a small thing. Half a year later, the fish in his pond were poisoned by others. Places without street lights. At night, there are only family members. The most cruel thing in nature. People can't stand to see other people live better than me, especially someone who was less than me. As Du Yong once said, "Don't brag about happiness. Don't brag about success. Don't boast of success." Basic physical knowledge shows that things to expose will lose moisture. Cold storage is the best way to keep fresh. You will understand that life is your own. It has nothing to do with other people. People on the high floor, he often practices to hide his talent, and people on the lower floors like to brag. If you share your joy with the wrong person, then that's going to be bragging. If you're an unsatisfactory friend, I'll be sad. If you were my first-rate friend, I'd be even sadder. I hope you're good, but I don't hope you're better than me. In reality, most people can accept the promotion, progress of strangers, but can't stand the promotion of the people around. Just like beggars aren't jealous of millionaires, I will be jealous of other beggars. You have higher income than me. What is easy to achieve is called jealousy. What is not achieved is called admiration. In the novel, Malice tells a deep story. Kasuk and Hitoka's grandfather have been classmates since childhood, and they're close friends, living on the same street. When he went to school, Kasuk's grandfather was often bullied. Hitaka always protects you. After high school graduation, they both walk at the crossroads of life, and we don't see each other anymore. Many years later, they met again. Hitaka became a famous writer. Kasuk's grandfather is not well off. Knowing about Hitaka's situation, the jealousy in you rises. Hitaka helped him find a new job. He still couldn't help but feel envy and resentment. Just got Hitaka's help comfortably. You just silently made a plan. He eventually killed Hitaka. End of the story. His motives and hatred were revealed. I hate you. I hate that you made my dreams come true before me. Hate your Vietnamese privileged life. I also hate my own weakness. I hate that luck doesn't come to me. I hate that I can't afford it. I poured all my self-hatred on you. No one really expects you to live well. Parents and a few close friends. The real people. Be glad that your success is small. For most people, they learn about you just to confirm that you're no better than them. There's a line in a celestial movie that says, "People need to learn to keep two things private. One is my ability, and the other is my ability." The eighth thing in the family. A netizen once shared that half a year ago, the department next door has a new female employee, about 30 years old. After a few times working together, I find her quite gentle. It seems like a small woman, but she made a big mistake. Not long after work, you told a friend that you were divorced. And now I'm living with a man bigger than me, 15 years old. She thought her colleague would keep it a secret. But that's clearly not the case. This makes colleagues in the company. Everyone has an opinion about you. Some people say things that are hard to hear. Even because of this, leaders also began to suspect your ability to work. Last weekend, I heard she applied to quit her job, I think until the break. She still doesn't understand what she did wrong. There will always be a lot of people around you. Sometimes they'll seem interested in asking, "Have you had any concerns lately?" Or "How you've been living lately?" You can feel that they care. Then tell them everything. And maybe you've fallen into a trap. Not talking about personal stuff, it's a quality that adults need. Every family has something difficult to say. Even in a happy family, there are still times of disharmony. Even loving couples sometimes fight. Chai. Bad things in the house should not be brought out. You tell everything to someone else. They will outwardly console empathy, but they can't solve your real problem. And then they made the subject of his family again. Talk about the extra tea. And at some point, more and more people will talk. Your path will gradually narrow, that you're not good at. Remember that no family is without a fight. Family life is a continuous process. Forgive and forgive each other. Don't tell an outsider what happened. A lot of people like to listen, especially the bad things of others. They don't really want to help or comfort you. Good sound is hard to hear. Bad reputation is transmitted miles. Some have just turned their backs. You've been spreading bad news about your family all over the place. Someone once said that your family is the only place you can go without a reason. It's a place, no matter how you change, also ready to receive you. There is a loving family in this world. It's not just a place for the body. It's also a place of peace for the soul. I want to build a happy family. There is no lack of communication. Accompany and understand each other. Communication is the foundation for building good relationships. It's a catalyst. Help the relationship between people more cohesive. With a family, lack of effective communication just put the distance between the members. It's getting bigger. A psychologist once said, "What's important is not what happened. It's how other people feel about it." Always remember that communication in close relationships is the most important thing. When the family has problems, you shouldn't go everywhere. It's about sitting together and talking. Outsiders can help you when you are just satisfying your own desire to talk, and they may secretly make fun of you. Best feng shui for a family is to talk about it together. Big things. Forgive and don't dispute the little things. Do not repeat the mistakes of the past. Please remember and apply these 8 things so that your life can go smoothly. Peace and happiness in the future.